So starting a business while I was in the military was one of the best moves I ever could have made to support me, my family, my wife, my children, and have the ultimate life of my choosing, lifestyle freedom, time freedom, and financial freedom. In this video, I'm going to talk about, can you start a business while in the military? All right, so first I'm going to talk about why I started the business in the military, and then I'm going to talk about how I started the business and the steps that I had to accomplish to get this business started. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to start a business while you're in the military. All right, let's face it. We can all use a little bit of extra discretionary income each month. When I joined the military, my expenses were a little bit higher than what the military actually paid me. So it made me have to hustle. You know, in basic training, I was making extra money by pulling fire guard shifts. And then AIT, I did the same thing. I would even iron the Class A's and the dress blues for the other guys going in inspections, and I'd make an extra $20 here, $25 there. And it gave me additional money to, to go out and like actually have some money to spend, because all my military money was going to my bills. I was already married at this time. And, I just had to kind of get caught up. And then ultimately I knew I was an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a business owner, and I wanted, additional income that the military wasn't really providing for me. Obviously we work really hard in the military. We don't join the military for the pay, but ultimately some of us would like to be paid a little bit more. So why did I want to start a business in the military? Ultimately, I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to find our things in lives. And I also wanted to, have the life of my dreams and be able to go on vacation and travel with my family and my wife and all these extra things. So in 2014, the Army had sent me to school, a private school. They pulled me out of Afghanistan in early 2013, pretty much gave me 2 years to get a 4-year degree because I was going to be a military officer. I wanted to keep progressing through the ranks, and ultimately I saw officer as being that. Well, 2014, I'm racking up a lot of debt. I was also had purchased 2 rental properties during this time. So I was racking up debt over here and then racking up debt on college. Well, I ultimately knew that I needed to somehow or another make an additional income while in the military. So I actually started wholesaling houses. So how did I do that? I would go and find the people that were behind on their mortgage. The notice of default list is what we call this, or lis pendens. Basically, they're not paying their mortgage payment. So I would go on a program called PropStream, and I'll give you a link to get a 7-day free trial right now. And that's the landsharkslist.com, the landsharkslist.com, and sharks is plural. And you can go on PropStream and get a 7-day free trial and start pulling up properties to where the homeowners aren't actually paying their mortgage. They call it the notice of default list, or the NOD, as in notice of default, or lis pendens, or pre-foreclosure list. Across the country, they call it in certain counties different things, but those are pretty much the 3 most common terms. So I would print out this list, and I would drive to each one of these houses and door knock on these houses. And if they didn't answer, I would leave a note. Well, lo and behold, I had done about 12 or 13 of these in one day, and I would keep it consistent. I would try and do it daily, after I got done with my college courses and after I did all the stuff I needed to do for the Army, I would go and door knock these doors. Well, lo and behold, someone finally called. It was a guy that was behind on his mortgage. I drove to his house, met him, and we ultimately agreed for me to purchase his house in 7 days for exactly what he owed on the mortgage. He owed about $150,000. And the house was worth maybe about $185,000, $195,000. So there was a pretty good chunk of equity, and the house was in perfect condition. It was just dirty. He hadn't cleaned it in years. So what did I do? I got pictures of the house. I got all the information, and I put it on Craigslist, say, looking for cash buyer, close in 7 days, $155,000. Call me now. Well, I actually had a lady from a title company call me, and she said, hey, I've got a buyer looking for this exact house. Give me a call. So we talked. His name was Lou, the buyer, and lo and behold, he actually closed in 7 days, and I made a quick $5,000 assignment fee. And literally, from the time I put this note on this guy's door to the time I got paid was literally almost right at 8 days, 7 or 8 days. So I was hooked. Well, here's what's funny that happened. On that Craigslist ad, another wholesaler, her name was Tanya, called me and said, hey, Brent, I've got another house down the street from this very one that you're selling. Do you have cash buyers? I said, of course I have cash buyers. So she gave me all the details, and we marked it up $9,000. So she had it under contract for like $140. So we marked it up to $149. And I call Renee, the owner of this title company. I said, hey, Renee, you think Lou's interested in this house as well? And Renee said, no, Lou only buys 4-bedroom, 3-bath houses. in Palm Bay, but I'm interested. So she actually purchased it. We made a quick $9,000 and I split that with Tanya. So she got 4,500, I got 4,500, and we did this in like 14 days time, like 2 weeks. So I honestly created a business around this. So fast forward to 2015, the Army is now moving me to Colorado. I was in Melbourne, Florida for 2 years, and now it's time for me to move with my wife and my brand new baby. Well, she's actually pregnant. We were about to have a brand new baby, our first child. And when that child was born, my why to get out of the military, to start a business while I was in the military became massive, massive why. It put pressure on me. It got me out of bed early in the morning. I would jump out of bed. I couldn't wait to get up. I couldn't never go to bed. I didn't ever want to go to bed and I couldn't wait to get up. But I built a business around this. I built a business while in the military and I ultimately stumbled on land. Land was like by far the best real estate strategy, the best income strategy, and the best way for me to create a business while in the military. All right, so I say I stumbled on land, and I want to tell you exactly all about that and how I built a business around it that gave me financial freedom and time freedom and geography freedom and ultimately allowed me to get out of the military and be with my family more often and spend time with them, go on vacation whenever I like. But before I tell you how I set that up, you got to subscribe to this channel. I come out with these videos 5 days a week. I talk about all things land investing and house investing and starting a business while in the military. So check out this video, how to get out of the military and be successful. All right, back to land, back to me stumbling on land. So I was actually still trying to wholesale houses once I got out of Colorado, but we were doing so much training and so much field time and always away, always gone. And then I went to Kentucky and then all these places. And I was having a hard time wholesaling houses like I had started in Florida. So I ended up mailing the land tax delinquent list. This was land that was behind on taxes. These people weren't paying their taxes. And I mailed them this postcard, and I'm gonna give you this postcard. This is my free gift to you. If you head on over to thelandsharks.com/postcard, thelandsharks.com/postcard, the card that I used to buy millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate, over 310 parcels of land, I want you to use it too. It's my gift to you for free. But I mailed this list. I mailed 687 of these postcards, a postcard saying, hey, I'd like to buy your land. If you're interested in an all cash fair offer, call me. Well, I had over 20 something phone calls. And out of those 20 phone calls, I ended up doing 2 deals. The first one gave me a quick $5,000 cash in my pocket. And about 4,500 of that was net profit to me. And the second deal was another land deal for $500 that I purchased. And this thing was worth anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. I was able to find a buyer on Craigslist before I even purchased the land that was willing to give me $500 down and $400 a month for this land. So now I built up a payment every single month coming to me for the next 12 months that would pay me $400 a month. Plus the $500 down got my investment out of the property. This was a business. I was hooked and I continued to rinse and repeat and do this over and over and over again. And I kind of brushed on the 5 reasons why I love land. I talked about the financial freedom it gave me, the time freedom, the geography freedom. It's super simple. There's no foundations to fix or roofs to repair or plumbing to have to deal with. The tenant that calls at midnight saying, hey, my toilet's overflowing. None of that stuff happens in land. And then number five, there's virtually no competition. And I'll tell you why. There's no competition because most people have no idea what to do with the vacant raw land because there's no house on it. There's no storage units. There's nothing to rent out or make money. So if you're looking for something like this, you're looking to build a business while you're in the military, and maybe you want a Sherpa or a guide or somebody to help you kind of take the steps or show you the action steps and be there to answer the questions for you, head on over to thelandsharks.com. That's thelandsharks.com. Schedule a call with me and my team. We'll look at what your goals are, your business goals are, your real estate investing goals. And if we feel like we're a great fit, I'd be honored to coach you and show you how you can build the financial freedom of your lifetime. You know, have opportunity to get out of the military, or maybe you don't even want to get out of the military. Maybe you just want an additional passive income source while you're in the military. I'd love to talk to you about that. I'd love to coach you through that. Be blessed and honored to coach you do that.